Hey guys, we're live. I do have a 100 millisecond delay on my voice. Let me know if it's out of time. Because it was 120 last time. And I'd like to know if it's too much or too little. Just let me know. Impromptu delay. I think everything should be fine. If my audio drops, let me know. I will be watching but just keep in mind, once you let me know, it's going to take me a little bit to figure it out because there's about a 9-second, I'm guessing 9-second delay, right? How's everybody doing? It's been a while. It's been a couple days since I did a live stream. Domo. Hey, Twin 10 Broter and Come Timoth. Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, I was looking at some old folders and I came across video from 2015 of me doing the very first Japanese From Zero video series, which I didn't finish. I started again in 2016 and that became the official series where I'm sitting in an office like this. But this one, the first one that I did, was in front of the big TV. It looks really, really fantastic. And I think it's only 2 episodes, but I think it's really well written. I don't know why I didn't keep going with it. But I think I might want to release those. Maybe I'll release them here on Polyglot George channel instead of Japanese From Zero because I don't want to confuse people on that channel. What do you think? Let me know. What am I drinking? It's water. Very healthy water, guys. Can someone tell me though, is my delay good? Is my voice good? Yes. Apparently I have a Mark and George show in 12 hours. Alexa. Never mind. I don't need to tell her. She doesn't need to know my schedule. Actually, she should. Alexa, add MAGS to my schedule tomorrow at 12.
Do you mean noon or midnight?
I mean noon.
Do you mean noon or midnight?
Noon.
Do you mean noon or midnight?
Noon. I don't think she got it. I actually don't think she got it. Alexa, set volume to 7. Alexa, what's on my schedule tomorrow?
There's nothing on the calendar for tomorrow.
Okay. Alexa, add MAGS for 11:30 a.m. on my schedule tomorrow.
That's M-A-G-S on Friday, September 27th at 11:30 a.m., right?
Yes.
Okay, I've added that.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm here for the very big questions you guys are asking me. This is good. George, when are you going to play some PS4 again? It's right here. Like I have it right here. It's just not hooked up to anything. I really do want to do it. Did you watch all of my Detroit Becoming Human stuff on this channel? Don't know if you did. Did you like it? Was it worth it? I have a bunch of games over here on a shelf, and I have been meaning to do it, but so many things keeping me busy. You know, book 5 work is every day now. Trying to get it out literally next month, and we have 2 more full lessons to complete. I'm on lesson 11. I'll be working on it I'll leave the office. I'll go home and I'll work on it a bit. But I'll tell you what, it's really awesome. Because of the way I made these changes to my life, my level of concentration has gone up so much. Like I realized this the other day. I was with Mike and we were eating dinner. It was like, last night. It was late night and we were at McDonald's and I was just chugging away on some fries and Mike was talking about something important. And I was just like, the whole time, zoned in on him. And I was into it. I was interested in what he had to say and I was processing it all and remembering what he was saying, which is really rare for me because I typically... I used to always say, I just guess I don't care about people. But really what I think was happening was my whole problem with the dope. If you're following these live videos, you'll know, just for those of you who don't know, about a month ago, I watched a video on the effects of porn on the brain, high-speed porn on the brain. And I stopped doing it because it was raising my dopamine super high, basically making me immune to the effects of dopamine so that things that you do in your daily life get boring, basically. Long story short. And in one fell swoop, I stopped binging on all of the things I binge on, like news and YouTube and Netflix, and I stopped watching porn, which has been fantastic. It has been amazing. People call me on the phone that I normally would be like really in a rush to get off of, my wife knows, everyone knows that knows me knows that I kind of hate phone calls, but not anymore. I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of nice, and I can really appreciate what the person is saying. My personality is changing a lot, and I said this before, but jazz. There is a station on Spotify called Coffee Table Jazz. If you want to know what I'm listening to in music right now, it's that. It is fantastically relaxing. Mark, I am ready for Mags. Let's do it. I've even caught up on some of the news. I've seen what I know a little bit about what Trump has done in Ukraine. I gotta say, when you don't look at the news normally, the news seems utterly ridiculous. But I'm a little bit up on the news. But of course, me and Mark, we could talk about your Japan trip, and we could talk about me giving up dopamine. So, Comtima says, I have to say I'm following your advice, and I've been trying to reduce my dopamine intake. It's been great so far. Thanks for that. It's great. Yeah, thank you. The more you do, I don't know. It takes an effort because I have sat down and thought, nope, and I just have to remember, the phone. I don't even know where it is. Oh, it's right here. Like the phone is like a bar where you go to. If you're trying to stop drinking, you shouldn't go to a bar. Well, the phone, like for example, when I open up my phone and I look at, if I go to look at apps, look, it shows SimCity like right there. And SimCity was the last thing that I quit. I went cold turkey in the middle of a mayor's contest. I want to add, because it was really important to me. But my screen time this week, it's still 5 hours and 52 minutes. But my biggest one is messages. It's messages. And the second one is 37 minutes on the Lexus app. That's crazy. That's today. Because I was trying to get my car added to the new Lexus app and it wasn't working. Hello Talk, 31 minutes. Line, 18 minutes. 13 minutes on my camera. 12 minutes on Amazon. 10 minutes on YouTube. That's it in the last, what is this? That's just today. How can I do, here we go, last 7 days. Last 7 days, still 3 hours on YouTube. That's crazy. I don't know what I'm watching on YouTube because I haven't been watching much. Oh, you know what? It's because this was the week I was still playing SimCity. It hasn't been a week. I can't see because it's so bright. Sorry. I still played 3 hours of SimCity. But I wish can I go back a week? Let me see. Let's go back a week. Can you go back a week? No. I have 78 phone pickups per day. First used after pickup is messages. The next one is Amazon. We don't call her Alexa. We call her Jennifer when we talk about her, so we don't get everyone riled up. I have 832 notifications in the last 7 days, 119 per day. The number one message to me is from my Schlage lock, letting me know that the door has locked. I have a Schlage lock that connects to my phone and lets me know if someone punches in a code to come in or if the door is unlocked. Next is messages, then Discord, then Ring, which is another thing that lets me know someone's at the front door. Cool. So I do hope to, one of my goals is to not have SimCity show up in the most commonly, because it shows the most commonly used things, and still SimCity showing up. But I stopped that, maybe it was only 3 or 4 days ago now. All right, where was I? What's going on with TBC and Bullgoat? TBC is Tissue Box Channel. I think about Tissue Box Channel every now and then. And I even shot some Tissue Box Channel in Japan the last time I was there. Some really good stuff I would add. I probably should do it again, honestly. And Bull Goat is me and Kathy. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest right now. I want to make more Bull Goats, and I haven't told this to Kathy yet, but I remember during the first Bull Goat or one of the Bull Goats, I was starting to be super openly honest with her, and she didn't like it. She didn't like part of what I was doing, and it makes me feel like I'm too held back to do it. I want to be brutal in Bull Goat. And so I don't think I don't think we're going to do it, honestly, because I don't want to do it. I love Kathy. Don't get me wrong. I want to do it, but not if I have to be careful with my words and not offend anybody, because I say, in Bull Goat, I don't know exactly what I said in that episode, but Kathy is still very much worried about her public image as a doctor, and because she does a lot of TV promotion for her program, if it got out that she was saying really bad things, it would be bad for her. But I don't care. Like my personal image it should matter to me, because maybe people would stop buying Japanese from Zero book, but people don't know that. They don't know who I am when they buy the book, so they find out later. So maybe they would find out later and be upset. But there's no opinion that I hold that I'm embarrassed to hold. And there's nothing that I would ever say that I think I wouldn't defend myself. I think about it a lot. I think about, what if I make a blunder, not something dumb like saying the N-word or something like that, because obviously I'm not racist, so I wouldn't say that unless I was joking. And I do joke, even with my my coach who is black. I'll make jokes with him. Like there's a thing I do, and I do it with him. He doesn't laugh, but I still think it's funny. I don't say I'll be back. I say I'll be black. And then sometimes when I come back, I'll be like, yo, what's up? Just to be funny. But that's a joke, right? And he gets it. And part of my humor is when people don't think it's funny to me. Like, so if I say a joke and they're just like, oh, that's the kind of joke I like. If I don't want to offend people, but I like to say things that are not expected. Yes, that is Noriko Sakai behind me. Very good. I just changed it up. That is her Lovely Times Part 3 album. I have a whole bunch of albums that I'll be rotating out here in the back. That is indeed Nori P. Raul says, hi, George. I love your channel. Are you going to do another collab of Hiding in My Room? I thought about it. I'm getting ready to go back to Japan again. And I noticed that he is in Osaka. And I also know that Chris Abroad was talking about doing something with him and then didn't do it. Now, I know Daniel. I met Daniel once. Okay, so I don't really know him in that sense, but I've chatted with him a bit, and I've watched too many of his videos, a lot, too many of his videos, and I know his current thing with his sex doll and his Airbnb and his getting kicked out. I've watched and it's hard. That's what I've done on YouTube. That's what I've been doing. The only YouTube I've really watched is Daniel's. And it's because I had to know what was going to happen next. This season is fantastic. That's the joke in the comments, that it's a season and they talk about arcs. It's amazing. Daniel is truly either an artist. And like, I know there's channels that shame him. And even in one of the Polyglot videos, I made an impression of him. But keep in mind, that was back in March. And right after that, you don't see it in the video, but because the editor cut it, Mike cut it, I said, Daniel, it's all in fun, man. I love you. Because I do love Daniel. I think he's a great guy. He's a talented artist, super smart, but he's just addicted to sex. That is literally what makes him who he is. He's completely addicted to sex. And I'm willing to bet if he could stop, he would like to stop. I don't know what else to say about that. The fact that he would spend $1,600 on a doll, do something with it once, and now he's going to cut it up. I mean, I get it. It's a burden, and they're heavy, right? I've never had one, but I watched him struggle with the box, and I've been the first one to say I would immediately buy a sex doll, but not just one that's dead. That's the problem with the sex dolls now, is they're basically dead. I want one that's like, hey, George. I'll go like, let's call her Jennifer. Jennifer, it's time. That's my code word. Jennifer, it's time. And then Jennifer's like, all right. We're going to do it. Like, bed maybe, and then we'll take a shower. Like, okay, fine. And then when we're done, maybe I go, you know what? I'm just going to wash up with a towel. You handle the rest. And she'll like clean her own self off. Doesn't have to be me in the shower with her. And then she'll just go back in the closet and say, let me know when you need me next time, sailor. and she's gone. That's awesome. Oh man, I'm sorry. Was my sound was redding out. I hope I wasn't blowing up your ears. Yeah. So I want a sex doll that will clean up after herself and hide when she's done. That's it. B. Jill says, I stopped binging porn and now I hump random people's legs. It's much better. Highly recommend it. That's pretty good. Zethorse says, porn feels awful to me. I would rather watch cute Japanese idols. Or I might point out Korean idols. Today, I did watch some videos on YouTube. They were all just K-pop stuff. A bunch of Twice videos for some reason. Alistar Wilson says, is SimCity good? It's really good. It's really fun. It's completely addictive. And I ended up spending like $20 on it, which I wasn't going to do, but they tricked me into it. I had to. Okay. Let's see. Twin Toe Brotar says, George, if you're going to play some PS4, you should play... Is that Kuma ga Kiku or No ga Kiku? I don't even know, dude. No, I don't even know that. No, that's not even Kiku. I can't read kanji, dude. Not those kanjis. Sorry. I know Matt versus Yes Japan will be getting on me right now. Let me think about this for a second. No ga. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that one. Known as Yakuza in the West. I don't know that. I don't own that game. I own a bunch of other games. And Sipital says, your brutal honesty was hard for me at first, but I realized that I just had to adapt. Someone tell me how to read that kanji so I can read it properly, okay? Thanks. I need one like Detroit. Yeah, that game was really good. Detroit. There's one called, I think it's called Black Rain. I don't have it, but I have like 10,000 yen on my PS4 Japan account, so I could buy something. But I shouldn't buy anything because I have over $1,000 of games that I haven't done anything with. Stephen Jacob says, so you want a sex bot? Dude, yes. I would, yes. Especially one that could like, again, clean up after herself. And other things, I'm thinking what I want to cuddle with a sex robot. There's a bunch of things a sex robot needs. Number one, they need to not feel like a dead body. That's like number one, cannot be dead. I don't want to have to, she needs to be able to move with her own power. It can't be like me propping her up because that's dumb. I just don't want that. Am I finished with Pokemon Go? Yeah, I've been done with that for a long time. Like a serious long time. I spent over $1,000 on Pokemon Go. I'm not even joking. I'm not even exaggerating. I spent a lot of money buying Pokeballs. Oh, it's Ryuga Gotoku. Okay. Oh, it's Ryu. Okay, dragon. Ryuga Gotoku. Thank you. I'm actually embarrassed, but you know what? I don't know all the kanji, and that's certainly not like everyday kanji that you would see as far as I know. So, Ryuga Gotoku. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, we hired a new editor today. We now have a second editor. Mike's a fantastic editor. We're just not releasing enough videos. Right now, what he's doing is editing the next 5 George and Keiko shows because I've been wanting to get those out. Remember I talked about releasing on the Japanese from Zero channel, the old George and Keiko was re-edited, and I released one of the new edited George and Keiko's, and I think it's really fun. And the second one, I already edited it, but it wasn't subtitled, so that's where it kind of stopped. So I don't know how the subtitling is going to work because he doesn't know any Japanese. He's going to have to learn it right away. Welcome Aaron. He is Canadian, to the group. Hey, Nuke Marine. So a Pokemon Go sex robot complete with Pokeballs? No. Nor do I want any of my balls poked. Zethorse says, be careful what you say if your wife listens to... Even if she did listen to me, she knows me. Zethorse, there's nothing my wife doesn't know about me. And if by now she hasn't divorced me, I got a good shot I'm going to die with her. Okay? We've been married 24 years. I think this is the 24th year. So we hit our... How does that work? Yeah, we hit our 24th anniversary in December. And that means we begin our 25th year. Now, I just want you to put that in perspective. I'm 47 in October. So for more than half of my life, I've been with her. Crazy. And I still love her a lot. Pendragvian says, late stream. Yeah. I was sitting here watching older videos, and a lot of them were live streams, and I was like, man, I miss the live streams because I used to do them so much, and I haven't done them in a while. I kind of miss it, So figured, why not? I could do it now, right? I was having issues with my internet initially, but seems okay now. I feel like I had a lot more to say. Nuke Marie says, out of interest then, have you tried viewing VR porn videos in a VR headset? Assuming this topic's okay. No, I have not. I've played, what was it, Friday at Freddy's or something like that. In VR, it was amazing. But no, I honestly, if I want to say I'm done with porn for the rest of my life. I really want to be able to say that, because I realized not only was the porn a thing, but just the YouTube and games and whatnot, that when I was, so I have this office now, right? And behind this shelf is a bed. So I can sleep here, and every now and then I do sleep here, okay? I do make an effort to always go home so that I'm there in the morning for my daughter and my wife, and I just... Okay, yeah. So sorry about that. Thank you, Mark. Mark, thank you. You're the true hero here. I knew right away. Like I said, when I do this, I know that I understand that my sound is gone. Where was I, guys? What was I saying? Where was I? Just let me know. Oh, at the beginning of, I want to be there for my daughter and my wife. Okay, so I was saying that I do go sleep at my house, right? But anyway, I pulled everything out. I pulled everything out of my room. And then I have this big loft bed in the room. I think if you remember watching the older videos. And underneath there now I have like pillows. I left my LEDs in there from the live stream, and I have them on this nice little calming, like fading to red, fading to black, fading to blue. It's really, really nice. And now I just chill in there. I have no technology in my room except for a laptop and one monitor and my Alexa, my Jennifer machine. So it's amazing. And I go in there and I listen to the coffee table jazz station I was talking about, and I just chill. I just lay in there and I think, and I free think, and it's given me so many nice ideas and giving me a lot of clarity to think, because when you're constantly listening to news, which is what I would do, or podcasts, or you're constantly listening to a guy like me speak right now, you are in my thought pattern, and you have random thoughts of your own, but I keep drawing you back to my thought pattern when you're thinking, right? So there's benefit to listening to what other people say, but if you don't give your own mind a voice, you're hurting yourself a lot. And I want you to all to take the challenge. Do it for a month. Okay? Don't watch porn. You can still relieve yourself, but don't watch porn. Okay? And take a shower without listening to music or watching podcast videos or anything. That's what I used to do. Try it. It's amazing. It's amazing how much clarity you get and how calming. Like when I listen to jazz now, so I'm starting to get these like weird thoughts, okay? So I was listening to jazz the other day in the car, and my heart was just warmed, like it felt like the jazz was doing this, just wrapping around my heart, because it's the heart, right? Because that's what gives you stress. Like when you're stressed, you're like, ugh, right here. Well, my heart was just like, yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's just like, it's hard to explain, but just like this amazing feeling that I don't have to think. Another time I was laying in, so even before I quit YouTube and all of that, in the house that we have this office in, it's about 2,200 square feet. So there's a lot of space. So one of the, and a lot of the space is in these big centralized rooms. So the centralized room out here just has a couch and a carpet, like 2 couches and a carpet. There's no tech in it. Okay. So a lot of times we'll just lay there on that carpet and talk, for just to, and that's like a thinking room. It's always been a thinking room. But I was laying there the other day. So it's already enhanced that there's no technology in that room. And also now for over 3 weeks, I've been technology free. And I was laying in that room and I had this thought, this dumb new age thought. I was like, this house knows I love it. I've brought warmth to this house when it was neglected before, but certainly I felt like the house was alive and it knows that I appreciate it. It knows that I get a lot of joy from being here because it's my own space. And, it doesn't matter how dirty I make it in the day doing a project or something. I always clean it up. I leave it refreshed every time. When I come here every day, it feels nice because it's clean. By the way, that's another reason why I go home. Because if I don't go home, I'm always in my work environment. I really love going home, interacting with my cats, interacting with my daughter, my wife. And then when I wake up in the morning, I chill for a bit, maybe I eat. And when I come over here, it's business time. I really love that. And I don't think I really understood the value of having a separate place to work. It's been fantastic. But back to what I was saying is that I just feel like I'm getting more weird with my thoughts because I actually have time to develop them. And even the day when I was in the shower, I'm writing, I have this big project that we're working on that I haven't told anybody. And this big project, I thought of something really cool for it. I can't tell you, unfortunately, but it's a really good idea that I don't think I would have got if I wasn't letting myself freely associate thought. You think I have a high-pitched tone in the audio? Okay, let's check this out. Oh yeah, I hear it. Oh yeah, it's there even when my mic is down. Yeah, hopefully that's not. There's nothing really. Everything else but my own audio is down, so. Let's see here. I hear what you're saying. Wait. What's weird? It feels like I can hear it through the headphones, but it's only through the headphones, I mean. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to deal with it. Sorry. And Cipital says, high-speed porn has a huge negative effect on the heart. I don't know about that, but I've never heard about that, but I don't disbelieve that. It sounds about right. George tried meditation first, thought it was too intense for him. Well, what I did Killing Dogma was I was trying to free my brain of thought and focusing on my brain and having mindfulness. I realized that was hard. I think I could do it now, though. I haven't tried it since then. But I think I really enjoy letting myself think. But what I found that I can do now is focus on something. I can really intently focus on something. I really love it. And I was talking to Justin today, the co-owner of the company, and he said there's a noticeable change in the way that I speak, and he's noticed that my memory is better. He's noticed that, and he's known me for 20 years. You need to balance the high-speed porn with jazz. Can I tell you something? When I'm taking care of myself, I'm definitely listening to jazz now. just saying, it's so relaxing. Hopefully that won't lead to the effect of when I listen to jazz I get excited. That would kind of suck. No, I do not watch Terrace House. I actually don't want to watch Terrace House. I do not want to watch Terrace House because I don't want to feed into other people's drama. That's what YouTube is, right? Now when I walk by my daughter watching YouTube, I'm just like, this is so mental garbage. There are a lot of amazing things on YouTube that you can learn from, like a ton. There's a lot of really good instructional channels. Okay, I'm not talking about my own stuff, but yeah, my own stuff too. But watching Shane Dawson or these guys that I don't remember their names, just talking like making stuff for people that have nothing else better going on, so it's interesting to them. I get it. It's a lot of kids probably watching, but it's like it's garbage. It's literally filth going into your head, and I don't. That's how I feel now. I don't know how I'll feel like 2 months or 3 months after I haven't been watching it, but when I hear it now, it's such a waste of life, a complete waste of life when I hear it. And I want to scream at the top of my lungs to my daughter, like, you're ruining your life. But I did it too, so I can't tell her don't. I did it. I'm 46 and I did it up until now. And one video changed my mind, and it'll probably change her mind too. Maybe something that she'll see will change her mind. And I can't really yell at her because she's getting straight A's, right? So what am I going to do? You're ruining your life, but Dad, I get straight A's. Yeah, you win the argument, right? It's like if she had bad grades, I could do that. Something like that, but... Okay, hang on. My mix board is able to generate a high-pitched tone. It's on the FX strip. All right, hang on. Well, I have FX turned all the way down. Now it's turned down for literally everything. And let me turn this off right here. I don't know what that was, but I turned it off. It didn't fix anything. Let's pull some things out here. Oh, nope, that ruined my headphone. Nope. Nope, I don't know what it is. Nothing else happening. Turning down everything on my strip. Even turning down my volume 100% still leaves me with that problem. I do have everything going through the EC20, the EC222, which you recommended. So I'm not sure, but keep in mind I don't have any filters on this stuff, so we'll just have to deal with it. Maybe I can add a filter. Let me add a low pass filter here. Hang on. Let's go filters or a high pass filter. No, wait, which one would that be? Let's see. Noise gate. Let's do a noise gate. Okay. Let's see here. I don't know if this will. Oh, you know what the thing is though? I don't know if this is what's coming out to me, so I don't know. Let me delete that. Noise gate's probably not it. I'm talking about inside OBS. Compressor, expander, gain, invert polarity, limiter, noise gate, noise suppression. Let's try noise suppression. There is no low pass. That's the thing. That's not doing anything. High pass would let the, well, I don't, there's noise gate. That's what I have. And then I have attack time, hold time, release time, and open thresholds. So this has nothing to do with like sounds, it looks like. So I do not know. Let's try compressor. That's different though, right? Compressor is different. That's not what that is. Yeah, I don't. Noise gate worked? Oh, noise gate. Okay, noise gate. Noise suppression worked too. Well, what do I set it to? Wait, you mean you heard it different than I do? I don't know. This is just, you know what? I'm not going to be able to fix it. We're just going to leave it for later. We're making the stream very boring. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't know how to fix it. And I don't have any of the fancy equipment that I had in the office set up yet. It's sitting over there. But you know, Mark, you know the problems with that equipment. I enjoy my voice so much more than the way it was set up in the other office, because when I hit the table here, it's just dunk dunk. But when I hit it at the office, it was like doosh, doosh. It was really bad because of all the compression and expanding that we were doing. You heard it differently, but see, I can't tell to know if it's good. So, yeah, we're gonna do this later on. Sorry. You guys are talking about weeaboo stuff? I don't know what to do. Did you guys see there was a comment? There's a couple trolls on the video where I did the hiding in my room. A couple trolls. Hilarious, man. I've been hearting all of their comments. Simply just because I know that that's all they have in their life and I want to give them something. Honestly, they have nothing going on. And the guy's like, you're a loser back home, you know, and I know this way that they think because I've heard about it before. So there's these people that are half Asian and half white, right? And they hate their father, who's white. They blame their father for a bunch of things. So anyone that's white is trash to them. They don't like white. And I think a lot of people that are in that society, in that group of people, follow Daniel. Because he's essentially kind of that, right? Like he's Malaysian and Japanese or something like that. I don't know exactly what Daniel is in the Hiding in My Room channel. But they hate him too. And they make a lot of shit comments. And Daniel does the right thing. He doesn't respond. But it's just funny that, like, it's their whole, that's what they got. And they'll tell someone that's uber successful. Like I would consider myself uber successful, honestly. I've written the book series. I've got a business with a bunch of employees. I'm in the second house. I feel like I've done well. I'm not like these huge YouTubers because I'm not really a YouTuber, but I've done well. And then I know that these guys don't have shit. And they're sitting there in the room and this is what they got. They got talking shit to someone else. So I don't want to shut them down or block them because I feel like that's all they got. But it's just funny that they blanket statement it to anybody. And it's like, okay, cool. What am I going to say about that? You know? Because I dealt with it before when I talked about reverbs and they called me baby rapist. Because apparently all they have is what they learned in the Genki book. And Genki book uses reverbs. That's when I first learned about it. I didn't know I didn't know why everyone was calling things reverbs, but Genki teaches it. I subsequently learned that Japanese for busy people, and I think there's one more book. Oh, Take Him. I think Take Him uses it too. Now, I don't know who started calling it reverbs, but somebody copied somebody, honestly, because I don't think logically it doesn't make sense to call anything a reverb. It really is. You watch the video, don't know what I'm talking about. But you don't classify something. If you're classifying animals because they breathe, then there is no. If everything is that thing, then it's not a classification. It can't be. So, but when I challenged that, not even knowing that it was Genki, I just challenged the concept because over the 20 years that I've been teaching Japanese, people would ask me questions and they would talk about reverbs. I'm like, what is a reverb? Like, there is no such thing because regular verbs have it. Ichidan, godan, the irasharu, gozaru type verbs can end in redu. Like, literally every form can end in redu, including the irregulars, right? If you want, literally every verb ends in redu except for regular verbs. But those can end in redu. So it's like, it doesn't help me to classify it. And then all three of those book series classify. They have u verbs and redu verbs, and it's a dumb classification. It's just got to be called what it is. It's dumb, right? Now I'm not saying mine's better, but mine's logical. Iru, edu verbs make sense because they rhyme with iru or edu, right? Even though regular verbs can have iru, edu sounding verbs in them, But generally, an iru eru verb, which is a godan verb, makes sense, right? Anyway, let's not go down that pattern. That's like religion for me. You start talking about that. And I don't know much about, I haven't seen other things. Just that is a huge pet peeve for mine. And also some teaching systems, I notice that they'll teach something and then they keep going. They keep going. And all they do is they take what was a good point and then they slam more information down the throat and they don't give enough people time to swallow that. It's just like, by the way, oh, but and this too, oh, and then, oh yeah, and you know what? And it's more like, I always feel like it's teacher masturbation. It's like, if you're teaching somebody something and you got to know when to stop, right? Because they will not get the fourth iteration of what you're saying. You can't keep punching the student with information. You need to come 3 or 4 lessons down the road and say, hey guys, so remember before we learned this, now we're gonna add on to that. That is a much more sensible way to teach, I think. That's the whole philosophy of when I write a lesson. It's like, number 1, did we teach this before? Okay, if we did, let's reference it so that they can base it off of something that they already know. If we didn't teach the prior concept, but we're teaching the third iteration, we got to go back and add the first and the second. Or we have to make a stepped grammar somehow that we don't punch them all in the same time. Why don't you call them 5-way verbs and 1-way verbs? Because, first of all, I've never heard them called 5-way and 1-way. Japanese call them ichidan, which means 1 step, and godan, 5-step. That is a very nice naming convention, but I'll tell you why I don't use it. Because that doesn't tell you how to distinguish what they are. It doesn't tell you anything. It just tells you what you do with them when you know what they are, right? So, for example, I could tell you a regular verb. Why is it regular? This is what we call it, regular. It's ichidan. It's the godan verb, sorry. It's regular because if it doesn't end in erdu, in other words, if it ends with any other hiragana but erdu, okay, it is regular. And it follows this pattern, which is called the godan pattern, okay? If it ends in erdu, it could be any type of verb. Any type of verb. There's no way to distinguish. The only thing you might be able to pick out of it is that if it ends with a sound I or E, like kiru, giru, or geru, whatever, if it ends in the iru eru sound, it could be an ichidan verb where you just drop the ru, okay? Ichidan and godan tells you how to conjugate it, not if it is, right? If you keep the rule in your head, if it doesn't end in erdu, it's a godan verb. You're golden. You literally cover majority of the language. Only verbs you have to think about are, and by the way, they're not saying what I'm saying. They're not saying erdu verbs here. If I was going to classify a erdu verb, it would be that. It's a verb that ends in erdu. That's all it means, okay? So if it ends in erdu, now you have to pay attention to what version it is, what type of a verb it is. If it doesn't, you follow this pattern right here. If I were to rewrite Japanese from zero, I wouldn't introduce an iru eru verb, what I call it, or an ichidan verb for a long time. I'd let everyone get used to whatever the verb is, just do this. And then hey, there's a special type of verb that ends here, or starts, it drops through and then it makes the changes. That's what I would do if I was going to rewrite. But too much history now with the book, and I didn't have as much thought as I have now. Luckily, I think I nailed how I teach it. I probably would have just delayed teaching taberu and miru, which were like first part of book 2. So. Still getting past everyone talking to each other. Marcus DeJean says, hiding in my room is a genius. His humor style is very subtle. I agree. Like, there are things that he, like, because he's so deadpan with what he says, it's funny. I'm just wondering if it's all really fake. Sorry. A bunch of air just came up. I silently burped. You might have heard it. Sorry. A bunch of air just kind of like, I'm ready to come out now. Yeah, he's pretty genius. Yeah, Incipitol gives a good point. So you've got kaeru, which is to return. Then you've got kaeru, to change. And then you've got kaeru, which is a conjugation into the potential can-do form of buy, right? So kaeru is to return, but that is a regular verb. And it becomes kaerimasu because it's a godon verb. Kaerimasu. But kaeru, to change, is an iru eru verb, or what the Japanese call the ichidan verb. So you drop the ru and you add mas, kaemas. And then kaeru, the other one, it's to be able to buy. Now, here's the fun thing about ichidan verbs. Okay? If you take any regular verb, and conjugate it into its potential form, which is e form plus ru, guess what you just made? You made an iru eru verb. So kaeru becomes kaemas, and you drop the ru. That's for any verb. So really, even though on its face, it looks like the regular verb conjugation is the most important, really, the iru eru conjugations are more important because it's dropped the ru all the time. That's how I feel, because every verb can be an iru eru verb. Okay, iku becomes ikeru, yomu becomes yomeru, hakobu becomes hakoberu. So you need to know how to do that. So both are very, very valid. I didn't mean to make this a Japanese lesson. Sorry. Oscar Negrete says, "Hey George, I lost a bit of my passion for continuing to learn Japanese. I still want to, but I keep making excuses. How do I ground myself and focusing on Japanese again? Are you watching a lot of porn? I'm not even joking. Are you doing a lot of things that are upping your dopamine? Because my passion for Chinese is completely rekindled now because I've stopped doing the other things. Basically what I'm doing, if you really think about what you're doing, you're making yourself bored. You need stimulation. Humans need stimulation. If you're constantly pushing max stimulation, which is hot girls in porn, or constantly going through Reddit, constantly going through Twitter, constantly going through Imgur and looking at funny images, you're constantly getting something. Now, do you want to sit down and struggle to learn Japanese? Hell no. You don't. It's boring, right? Languages have always excited me, but for me personally, I'm not excited. I haven't been excited for them, and I am now. I've been talking. That's why my Hello Talk, I went from not doing almost any Hello Talk to back to regularly checking Hello Talk because I get bored now, because I know I'm not allowed. I've told myself I'm not going to watch YouTube, and I don't want to watch YouTube. So now if I'm going to look at my phone, which by the way I don't, normally it's before I go to bed, I'm like, I'm going to just see what's her name's up to, and I'll talk to her. I have this Chinese friend that I talk to all the time now. And I've gone through spurts of talking to her, not talking to her. I've never met her. But just today, I'm gonna read some of the conversation because it's just fun stuff. For me, at least. I'm just gonna tell you some of the grammar that I was able to figure out in Chinese. So what her job is she takes people's credit cards and she holds on to them and somehow makes payments for them and helps them fix their credit. I don't know how it works in China. But I said to her, I know your job is about credit cards. I said that. There was some other grammar I was paying attention to. Where is it? You know what? We've said too many things. I don't know where it is anymore. Oh, that's what I said. I don't know if it's correct, but it said, I sent her video of my new modifications to the karaoke room, the karaoke room, by the way, that's how you're supposed to say it. And she said, you're very passionate about that. I didn't know what she meant when she said, I think it's read yongxing in Chinese, which normally means to be careful about something. See, it's 对于可乐 OK 你很用心 And the translation was, for karaoke, you're very careful. And I said, "Shimayisu." What does that mean? And then she said, "You're very passionate about something." And then I said, "如果我一样喜欢女孩的话，很危险。Sorry, let me make sure I wrote. I'm gonna look at the furigana, make sure I wrote that. 如果我一样喜欢女孩的话，很危险. So I said, if I liked girls as much, it would be a problem. So that was pretty. I never really used yi yang that way, so I was kind of excited that I put it there, and it worked. She understood it. She's like, haha. So, right now I'm formulating a project in my head. I compiled a list of common kanji, hanzi, and hancha. So hanzi is the Chinese characters for China, kanji is for Japan, and hancha is for Korea, right? So I have a list of 1,800 characters commonly still used not taught. It's taught in Korea, used in Japan, and used in China. 1,800 characters. I have all of the readings that I compiled from my own databases. Okay, I put them all together. So I have Chinese readings, Korean readings, and Japanese readings. Okay, that's going to end up being like up to 10 or 12 readings, depending on what the Korean and the Japanese do. Because Chinese typically only has one reading, typically one, sometimes two. But I'm going to put them on cards. I'm going to learn the meaning. And it's kind of a project here for me and Mike. And then if it works out, I'm going to make that into a product. I think that'd be a cool product. It'd be like, because there are a lot of people that are into languages, and even though it's a parlor trick, I'm not a fan of these parlor trick things where you just do something to do it. I think it'd be really cool to learn all the kanji in Korean, Chinese, and Japanese. And it's not below my capability, because the reason why my Korean got good was because I applied the Korean readings of the kanji to the Japanese readings. Sorry, the other way around. I knew the Japanese kanji. I applied what the Koreans used to write in kanji. They don't do it anymore. They don't use kanji anymore. They just use hangul. But it really helped me make up words. And the example I always like to give is like hatsuon, which means accent in Japanese, or pronunciation, hatsuon. And in Korean is parum, So is sound, on in Japanese reading. And then in Chinese it's fa yin. I don't know the tone. I apologize. Yin. Then so we have yin, and on. Now we know that music is ongaku, right? Ongaku, but literally the same thing. And in. So yin-yue, umaku, ongaku. So that's a very simple way to show you how they combine together. But they're not so far apart that you couldn't remember all of them in the same lesson, I feel. And it would really help my Chinese, because if I knew the Chinese, Korean I can make up sometimes. I can just figure out how it would sound. For example, a Japanese kanji that ends in tsu is almost always an sound in Korean. Like that's almost all the time. Okay. But Chinese, I haven't been able to figure out that pattern yet. But if I learned enough kanji, I would be able to figure out patterns. That's what I want to do. Okay. Where are we? Nick Marine. Doing a good job. Alexander says, I'll be going to Japan in January. Will you be my wingman? I don't think I'll be there in January. I am probably going again in November. But I'm not a wingman. I require a wingman. Actually, no, I do wingman work. I've done that before. I'm pretty good at that. I don't know you. You got to be a cool guy for me to be your wingman. Green Cyclist says, hey, George, what do you think is the best way to study Japanese online for free? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I say that with all due respect. You might not know who I am. Okay, maybe you're more advanced than what I've wrote. I am the greatest way to learn Japanese online for free. I have 90 videos just teaching in a row. I have hundreds of other videos teaching you a bunch of stuff. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get this way, but seriously, even course one, if you're just starting out, Japanese from zero is absolutely the best way to go. Absolutely. No one else offers you this much. Now, as for other channels, there's Japanese Amo Misa. There's Japanese Pod 101. There's a new one that I found. I don't want to recommend her because she's fucking awesome, but I'm going to give it to you right now. It's something like Real Miku Japanese. She's fantastic. I hate how good she is. She's really good. There's a lot of free ways to learn on Japanese online. But please don't ask me where you should learn Japanese online for free, because I am for free, except the course stops being free after course 1, but the videos don't. Is the video getting laggy? I've only dropped 620 frames for the entire thing. That's pretty good. So I don't know. Gionidas, are you coming to Tokyo? I am, but I'm going to be there for video production. I'm not going to be there to be hanging out. I'm working on my second video course, and I need to go to Japan to shoot some stuff. Green Cyclist says, no, dude, I'm new. Okay. All right, dude. Listen, I apologize. It's very rare that new people come into my stream. So I'm settling down. Sorry. I apologize. You probably don't want to learn from me now because I'm an asshole. But go watch the video series. It's called Japanese from Zero Video Series. I'm sorry, Green Cyclist. I'm very open when I talk, so I hope I did not turn you away. What gets me is people will ask me, and I know that they know about the site. It's like walking into McDonald's and saying, "Excuse me, where can I get a pretty decent burger in this town?" There's a Burger King up the street. What are they going to say to that? I'm also biased. Don't trust anything that I say about Japanese. I'm very biased. Am I learning writing these simplified or traditional characters? I'm not learning how to write. I was for a bit, and it is simplified. But the learning that I'm going to do with my 1800 kanji system, I'm going to write simplified, traditional, the Japanese, and the original Korean version, because they're all kind of different. They're all weird modifications somewhere. So I want to know all of them. Only by visual, though, not by writing. Writing is it's not worth it. The only time I ever need writing is never. I don't live in any of those countries. I don't ever have to fill out a form in any of those countries. And even if I did live in those countries, they would assume I couldn't write them. So for me, I just want to be able to recognize. I want to be able to read and know what I'm signing. That's what I need to know. Book 1 is not free, but the videos are all free. Good morning, Melanie. Kick flip. By the way, it's kick. You'd have to have a little tsu in there, Jido Hanbaiki-san. It's kick flip. Kick flip. I think you need two little tsus in there. What you have right now is kick flip. Kick flip. That's not, no, it's kick flip. Okay? No, I cannot do a kick flip. Sorry. I can kick flip it, but I cannot land it, nor does it look like I could land it. Hans Peter says George is secretly a strong adherent, I'm not sure how to read that, of AJAT. He would never admit it though. Again, fuck you. Because I have been talking about similar shit forever. And I don't have to say anymore. I've been talking about native sources being the best absolute thing you can do. What I didn't do was promote Anki. So I'm a huge supporter of AJAT. Yes, that's absolutely true. I admit it. It's not a bad thing. I don't think it's the first thing that you start though. I think you know what? Go look at what AJAT is, because I don't want to misrepresent what AJAT is. Okay? I don't want to misrepresent it. It's a whole structure for getting you to learn Japanese, and I don't know what it's about anymore. I don't know the politics behind it anymore. I know that I know that Matt is selling a system now called MIA. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a course that you pay for. I'm imagining that's what it is, where it's videos and him talking to you. I'm guessing that's what it is. So I don't know. I'm gonna respect the hustle. So go check it out and decide for yourself if it's something that you like. It's my understanding that even in his system, one of the recommendations that he makes is Japanese from zero. It's like, this is a option you can do to get the basic grammar, because no matter what system you get, it's more effective to learn basic grammar. Any old vlogs or fun videos on your many channels you recommend? I watched the Sapporo series and love it. Have you watched Lost in Japan on this channel? Lost in Japan is the new one that we're working on. There was Return to Japan edited by me, but I only got through 4 episodes. I never finished it. There's also 3 Guys in Japan, but that's by the way, is my voice delayed? I'm going to check it out. Hang on. Any old vlogs or fun videos on your many channels? Wow, it's perfectly lined up. 300 milliseconds is a hell of a... What is it? No, it's 100 milliseconds. Okay, so it's perfect. Yeah, AJet from the beginning will really probably turn you off from anything that stops you from your goal of learning is not good, even if it's a good thing. Thanks, Mark, for saying audio and video are fine. Thank you, I appreciate that. Gioni Ides says, George, do you still remember the moment when you first considered yourself fluent in Japanese? Yes, I do. I've been learning for 5 years and I'm about N1 level. You're about N1 level? But I'm still a long way from feeling fluent. How is that even possible? First of all, now that I don't do YouTube, I'm reading an N1 grammar book at the table. It's a lot of stuff that I didn't know. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I've never even heard this before. How is this? Was this newspaper Japanese? I don't even know. So maybe the stuff you learn at N1 is just not normal shit that people say. Because the first time I felt, so let me first explain. Fluency isn't boom, you know everything. It comes in pockets. It's you learn things, you get fluent in certain things, starting often with how you introduce yourself, and then how you talk about a thing that you like, or if you're into a J-pop group, you start getting fluent about that particular thing. You'll never be fluent about everything. There's always going to be things you don't know. I've been married almost 25 years, and my wife will still say things that I don't know. And I'm George Trombley. I know it's weird to say about talking about myself in the third person, but I should know everything, right? But I don't. Okay? And making the Kansai dialect from zero course, I learned a lot about Kansai dialect that I didn't know. And even analyzing the tweets, I learned words that I didn't know in standard Japanese. I was like, oh, wow, okay, that's how that translates. And there's been things that I've been wrong my entire life about Japanese that I go, oh, really? I was wrong the entire time? So it happens. You should feel more fluent. I think maybe you're not interacting with enough people. You've got it. So if you pass N1, that's a lot of visual and listening. And I don't know how much speaking there is. But being fluent in Japanese requires that you can speak. So just knowing it in your brain and not putting it out to your kuchi, speaking it, means you're not going to build those pathways. I'm reading a book right now called The Brain That Changes Itself by last name is Deutsch. I can't remember his first name, but it talks about it. The brain is extremely competitive for its neural pathways. And if you're not using it for one thing, other processes will take those neurons. If you want to be able to speak Japanese, you have to speak Japanese. You have to practice Japanese. Because the pathway of I know the knowledge and I understand it and I always get it right in my head to I can speak Japanese is a whole different pathway. So you have to practice speaking over and over again. And you don't have to like do it through rote memorization. You can just talk to people. So I haven't seen your reply. So let me just see if you respond. You have not responded yet. I just want to know, are you not speaking enough? Because I went to Japan when I was 12, was studying right away. It was very slow going though. There's no internet. There's no theory of how to learn. There was no people coming up with ideas on the best way to learn. So it's just me using a crappy book from Hawaii, trying to figure it all out. And I think I was 15. And I rode my bike up to the onsen, the hot bath, which I used to always do. I used to love to go to the hot bath. And I came out of the hot bath, and I was doing what I always do, which is I sit there with like an ice, and I was just eating like a raspberry or strawberry flavored ice with like a little bit of ice cream, and there's just really basically like a ice cone, like a snow cone, you know. I'm eating that, and there was a girl on the couch next to me, some young girl. I don't know how young she was, but in my memory she was like 8, super young, right? I don't know why that matters, but I was just thinking like, was it that I was young and that I was like, I don't remember. Anyway, so there's this TV show on it. It was really interesting. I know what it is now. It was Takeshi Joe, which is the one that became Super Challenge or whatever. It got released in America. I can't remember it. Something Challenge. I don't remember. Takeshi's Challenge or something like that. Anyway, it was Takeshi's Castle, but I didn't know it at the time. So I said to her, "Kono bangumi wa nan teiu no?" Something like that. And she said, "Wakannai." That was it. Because I didn't have to think about that whole interaction. I said it without thinking, and I understood her response. And then I just sat there and I was like, holy moly, I had a fluent moment right now. So fluency is not a 0 or a 1. It's a gradation where you slowly build up areas of fluency. I remember the first time that my Korean reached that level too. I was in Korea and I had purchased data on my phone for Korea, but I ran out of data. And the last time that I ran out of data, I ran out of voice also. I ran out of everything and nothing was working. So when I went to Ole, which is the Korean telecommunications company, the girl that helped me get data in the beginning who spoke English wasn't there. So they sent me upstairs to like this call center like room where there's just all these people. And I probably don't need to hear my voice. It's so loud in my head. It's killing me. I went upstairs and I was talking to the lady, and my Korean wasn't great, but I was like, data, is it data? Data. Fuck, I don't know how to say data anymore. Data. Date is date. 데이터가 없어졌어요. Like it was probably data. 데이터가 없어졌어요. Right? 데이터가 없어졌어요. And she's like, okay, and so I paid her 5만 원, 50,000 yen, and she's like, okay, your data's good now. And I said, 그 전에 how do I say data in Korean? 데이터가 없어질 때 보통의 정보도 못하게 됐어요. I said something like that. Or last time I lost data, I was unable to make even normal phone calls. And she was like, 괜찮습니다. You know? And I was like, I walked out of there, and I don't remember, those weren't all the exact words, and it was choppier than probably even what I just did. I walked out. I had fixed my cell phone problem. It was the first time I had to interact with any corporate entity in Korea. It wasn't just like people that I met at a language meetup. And I walked out, and I just like, my heart just went, oh my God. And I just like put my back up against the wall, and I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Like, wow. Because I genuinely did not imagine my Korean was going to get good. Because I had made this video. It's like Japanese Daily number 25 called Language Depression, because I was depressed because my Korean wasn't going good in Korea. It was the first time that I was there. I was there for 2 months. So it didn't happen until much later in the trip that I was able to do that with getting my data fixed. So I was depressed, and then I went from depressed to being super elated that I had made progress. So if you're not feeling fluency anytime ever, you're doing something wrong. in my mind. Let me see if you've responded. I speak a lot with friends. Okay. So if everyday conversation is fine, great. Are you not able to understand news? Then, that might be a thing, right? Like until I started listening to, this show doesn't exist anymore. It's called Sokomade Yuka. Now it's called, Koji Up. Cozy Up, literally. Koji is his name, so he's got Cozy Up. So Koji Up, it's available on, search for it in your podcast apps, but it's news. Until I started listening to shows like that, I never heard nor knew the word somo somo, right? So if you're not hearing that type of vocabulary on a regular basis, you can't possibly know it when you hear it once or twice in a news broadcast. So you've got to regularly watch those things. You got to that is an excellent native source, that Cozy Up. You can actually find it on YouTube also. It's excellent because even though they're talking about politics or news of the day, they're talking about it in natural Japanese. But because they're adults and they're analysts, they speak in a higher level of Japanese. So somo means from the beginning, blah, 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 right? From the start, blah, blah, blah. So they use it all the time, but you literally almost never hear it in regular Japanese. I never really ever hear it. That guy, Shibata on the wrestling channel likes to use it. I hear it there. Gioni says, you make a good point. I feel fluent on some topics, but I feel useless when speaking about things I don't know about. Guess what? That's how you should feel in English too. How could you talk about linear accelerators when you don't know anything about it? If someone's talking about biology and you didn't study biology, and you're not talking about cells metastasizing or something like that, how could you know? How could you, even in English? You have to remember, learning Japanese doesn't mean you learn everything in a language. You just learn the things that you know about normally. You don't automatically learn everything. So if you want to learn, for example, I didn't learn how to say gold plating in Japanese until I worked with a jewelry company. And then that same exact company, not that company, but another company after that I interpreted for, was a company called 3S. And they did mag wheels. And so I learned kimmeki. Kimmeki is gold plating. And then there's chromeki, chrome plating. So once I knew one, I knew the other right away when I heard it. But it took me experience. You've got to have experiences. So if you're not feeling fluent, you might need to just realize what fluency really is. So if you have no problem with daily conversation, you're fluent. If you're not feeling fluent, maybe that's a self-image issue. I don't know. And Cipital, by the way, and Cipital's name is Mark, and he's, if you guys want to listen to me banter with Mark about politics and anything random, we have a show every Friday at 12, between 11 and 1 we start it's done live on our YouTube channel, Mark and George Show. And it's pretty fun. And Mark is from the Netherlands, so it's a completely different way of thinking than Americans. And also, English is not his native language, so every now and then he'll say something funny in English, and I will make fun of him, and it's hilarious. But his English is fantastic, for the record. Alexander Santoyo says, you mentioned liking idols back in the day. Have you kept up with any modern groups or solo idols? Yes, but none of them are Japanese. They're all Korean. Blackpink, Twice. Solo idols, I mean, IU, but these are all Korean, honestly. I typically don't keep up with the Japanese stuff. I had a weird falling out with Japanese music because I was in the music industry. I was doing Japan Files, where we were selling thousands of artists, right? MP3s. And you can go on the Wayback Machine and look at japanfiles.com to see what I'm talking about. Wayback Machine is an internet archive. But once I stopped that business, and I didn't end it in a nice way, I kind of hated dealing with Japanese music at all. And a big gap opened up in my life. And right at that moment, I started learning Korean, and K-pop was there to save me. So K-pop and now jazz, obviously. K-pop was all I was listening to for the last almost 7 years. And jazz is my new thing. Portishead is awesome. So I'm kind of normalizing as a human being. I'm not just stuck on one type of music anymore, I don't think. Gioni says, right, I have trouble with news and formal situations. I guess I need to listen to that. You do need to listen to that kind of content, but also you need to repeat it. You need to shadow it. していただきたいんですけども、させていただきたいと思いますが、like if they're saying that, you say, いつもお世話になっております。Learn the business stuff. There is a Koji Up playlist on YouTube, 368 episodes. Yeah. Thank you, Andrew. I used italki for the first time this week, thanks to you, and it's great so far. It's amazing, Wilma. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Aaron is our new video editor. Welcome. He'll be working on the George and Keikos. If they suck, it's not because I'm a horrible person. It's not because I'm bad at it. It's because he sucked at editing it. Really, it should have been funny. Dinosaur Hunter says, who was your favorite StarCraft player back when you played/watched? Okay, well, day 9 absolutely is the whole reason I do live streaming. Day 9 taught me that I could talk to you guys like this, and I could be funny and I could be myself. He also had a bum tooth, like I had a bum tooth. Like I had a really sticky out before I got my braces, right? Like my teeth are like really straight now. If you watch any of the older videos, they're not. Like my bottom teeth are like, and my top tooth is like, and he had a bad tooth too. And he was cool despite that. Not that I was always on camera. I was always doing George and Keiko shows before that. So I was okay doing shows, but I never like talked to you guys. He showed me. So day 9 was amazing. Husky was great because he would play and talk. And then there was 2 guys that had When Cheese Fails. I think Husky was one of them. Maybe, no. But I cannot remember their names, but When Cheese Fails was fun to watch. Those are my favorite StarCraft players. Whew. Hyuki's Jewel, or Hyukie. Hyukie's Jewel says, George, I can't get into the habit of learning Japanese by myself, even though I really want to. I just fall back into not learning. All right. Why do I feel like I already read this one? Let me say what you need to do. Turn your phone into Japanese mode. Turn your Siri or your Bixby or whatever automated helper you have, even Alexa. If you buy a newer version of an Alexa device, you can turn it to Japanese mode. If it's something that's sold in the Japanese market, there's an option to make it Japanese. You practice by making it a little bit inconvenient. If your phone is in Japanese mode and you're using Google Maps, everything's in Japanese. If your phone is in Japanese mode, you have to read everything in Japanese. Early on, I put Japanese Windows when it was Windows 3.1. I put it used to be an overlay. It was called. It was like a WinV was the name of the product, and you would install it, with like a floppy disk, and it would change all of the Windows messages to Japanese because my wife didn't know English, and we only had one computer, and that made me learn a whole bunch of stuff, like insatsu suru to print and jikko suru to implement to initiate, or saikido reboot. All of those words I learned at that time, and they all became very important when I was interpreting, because I was interpreting for people learning computer stuff, right? They were learning how to repair linear accelerators. So make your life Japanese. You can even do a thing. I did this thing with my friend, but you could do it where you say, for 1 week, I'm only going to listen to Japanese media. You can all Japanese all the time, right? You can do that. I did that with Korean. I did it with, I never did it with I guess I did it with Japanese just by randomly doing it. I never felt like the need that I had to do it. But living in Japan, and I was watching a ton of Japanese shows that I liked. And even when I was first married in America, there was a video rental store, and we watched tons of Japanese TV. And that is extremely beneficial. Like, that's the whole crux of all Japanese all the time. It's all Japanese all the time. All Japanese all the time. That's all you do all the time. And it's that, if you get one thing out of AJAT, that's a good thing. And I would say, if you can't do that, do it some days where you only do Japanese. And if you have a friend that's studying Japanese, I did this with my friend Kathy. We for 2 weeks, it was really, really hard, by the way, because her level is lower than mine, but we only spoke Korean to each other. It's kind of nice. It's kind of fun. If you're riding around town or doing things in the day, before you do something, say to yourself what you're going to do in Japanese. Mizu o nomimasu. Mizu o nomimashita. 今からコップを机の上に置きます。置きました。今はライブストリームしています。今見ている人たちは33人います。I can just narrate what I'm doing for the day. I did a series of videos on that. I don't remember what it was called. It was a long time ago. I don't know where they are. I got to make sure that all the old stuff is actually up on YouTube because the Yes Japan video area is going to be going. It's gone already. I did a whole series where I just talk about things you do all day and you think about them in Japanese. It was like 7 years ago that I made that, but it was a pretty good series. Scooby Club says, real Japanese Miku is kicking ass on lessons now. She's amazing, cute, sense of humor, and lessons that are more grown up than Misa's. Misa cannot compare to real Japanese Miku. I want to hire real Japanese Miku. She is amazing. I wish I had the budget. I would just say, hey, let me give you a bunch of money and you work for me because she's going to explode. Honestly, she's amazing. I watched her video on Okage-sama and learned about Okage-sama, where it came from. I didn't know where it came from. This is one of the things I was talking about, mistakenly thought something for a long time. I thought that when Japanese people were saying Okage-sama to me, because Okage-sama means thanks to you. It really does mean that in a sense, right? For a lot of things. Because you could say, Joji-san no okage de, right? Which means, thanks to you, blah, 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 blah. So I just always thought that when they were saying Okage-sama, like, oh, you're doing really good. And they'll say Okage-sama de. I always thought they meant thanks to you. And I'm like, I didn't do shit. Why would you say that? It's just a weird Japanese thing, I guess. That's not what they're saying. They're saying, if you watch that video, she explains, thanks to the shadow. So it comes from Buddhism. And it's just saying, somehow, some way, it got delivered to me. I'm like, oh, somehow, some way, I'm doing well. It's not all me. And I thought, that's amazing. I learned that from her. And she did that video all in Japanese. So I love her. She's amazing. Good night, Alexander. Maximum Black and Nova War. That's who it was. Hit that sound. Maximus Black and Nova War here. And today on season 29 of... What was it? Cheese? No, I forgot the name of the show. Cheese That Fails. When Cheese Fails. Season 72 of When Cheese Fails. Let's just jump right into it. Or they'd say, hit me up with that noise. Yeah, it was fun. That's a good show. I actually watched it about a year ago. I want to see more of it. I don't know if they're still making it, but I love that. Guys, I think I'm going to go. My stream seems to have stopped over here.
I watched the Sapporo.
Oh, never mind. It was that I had stopped it myself. Now I forgot the name of the show.
Cheese That Fails. When Cheese Fails. Season 72 of...
Yeah, okay. It's cringy. Guys, just because Alexander's leaving, I feel like I should leave. Is it late where I am? Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m. It's about time I hit the hoshikusa. Hit the hey, hoshikusa. Hey. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for coming, seriously. And if you're not already subscribed, do me a favor. We're working really hard to build up the Polyglot George channel because recently I've had 10,000 new visitors or subscribers to Japanese from Zero. And I really would like to get, it's a campaign. How fast can we get to 100,000 for this channel? There should be another video in a few days on the Lost in Japan series. If you have not watched all of the Lost in Japan series, go catch up. I'll see you all tomorrow on the Mark and George show at Mark and George channel here on YouTube. All right. Bye-bye. Really would like to get it's a campaign. There should be another video in a few days on the Lost in Japan series. If you have not watched all of the Lost in Japan series, go catch up. I'll see you all tomorrow on the Mark and George
show at Mark and George channel here on YouTube. All right. Bye-bye.